Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we will be discussing episode 19, season 1 of the Tangle series. And the episode is called Not in the Mood. So it starts off with the king saying, well, it has come to war. And then when Rapunzel starts to stop him from stabbing the other guy by fighting with the other guy. He says, no, Rapunzel, it must be done. And with that, the king orders to have Rapunzel and her friends locked up in the dungeon. Now you're probably saying, why would the king do that? That's his daughter. Well, it all starts off 24 hours earlier in the day. So, it starts off with the king wanting to build a treaty with the kingdom by him. And for that to happen, he has to have the king over to Corona from the other kingdom that now, since I watched the episode, I cannot think of the name of. But anyway, so Rapunzel runs her treaty over by Cassandra and Eugene, because those are her two best friends. But Cassandra says, I don't think you're gonna win. The other king's approval, but about a speech about puppies and sunshine and rainbows. And Rapunzel says, I said nothing about puppies and sunshine and rainbows. And while they're talking about Rapunzel's speech, Cassandra is over there polishing axes for her big duty as a guard to let people in the castle, and that's her big job as a welcoming guard for the first time. So she's really excited, and she has everything planned out, and she has everything clean. And Cassandra's just being Cassandra. Meanwhile, Eugene is so confident in his new invention about meanwhile Eugene is so excited about his new invention about making the king so impressed and showing Corona his best celebrations about the kingdom that he brings in his little doohickey that sprays smoke and confetti everywhere, and then all of a sudden Eugene and Cassandra starts fighting as usual, and Rapunzel steps in, and then she starts fighting with them, and Pascal and Maximus get so irritated with it, they go to the wizard Xavier that gives them a magical mood potion, and he says 1 drop each may improve their mood. So, in order to hide the potion's taste, so Rapunzel and her friends won't taste it because Pascal and Maximus get so desperate that they went to Xavier for the potion. But remember, Xavier said 1 drop each, right? So what happens is, while they're making the lemonade, the door slams open when they're making the lemonade, and it drops a whole bottle of potion in the lemonade. Because Eugene and Cassandra were fighting about their presentations to the king to impress him to make a treaty with them, that they were not paying attention to what Pascal was doing, and they scared him, and then they dropped the vial in the lemonade, spilling all the potion out. So when they drank it, all their attitudes changed. So basically, Eugene was acting like his non-confident self, and he was so gentle and loving. I'm not saying he wasn't like that before, but he had no confidence. And Cassandra was acting like Rapunzel in a way, and Rapunzel was acting like Cassandra. So, now that their attitudes have changed, so have the people around the castle. They got concerned about them and saying, your attitudes changed, you're not acting the same. And Maximus and Pascal are just hiding in the background, hoping that Cassandra and Rapunzel and Eugene don't notice. But Rapunzel says, you two, get back here. Now what did you two do to us? And then they went to Xavier, and Xavier explained that Pascal and Maximus asked him for the mood elixir to change their moods because they've been fighting all the time lately. So, this is when Xavier tells them that the only way to reverse the spell, you have to get a 4-leaf clover, which is a 3-leaf clover, which is extremely rare to find in Corona. So they find it, and they take it to they take it to Xavier, but Xavier gets knocked out by this hammer, and they had to make the potion themselves by a book. Where they get the book? From a book on Xavier's shelf. So while Xavier is passed out, everything goes to chaos at the banquet because Rapunzel's not acting like herself. Eugene has lost his confidence, and Cassandra's just letting everybody in, and they don't even have an invitation. And so, with that, her dad kicks her off the guard. Eugene messes up the presentation by blowing smoke and confetti everywhere because he's so nervous. Poor Eugene, I feel so bad. And Rapunzel just says, okay, king from this other kingdom, Griffin, we're just trying to be nice to you. So maybe you can suck up your pride and just accept Corona's help. And the king says, okay, you don't have to be so rude. And then when the king and queen try to break it up, they on the other hand, Maximus and Pascal come in with the potion, and they spray it everywhere using Eugene's invention to spray confetti and smoke everywhere. But instead of reversing it, they made it worse, where it switches everybody's personality. So the king is attacking the king that he's trying to make the treaty with the griffin, and the queen is just eating cake and saying boo to everything, and everybody's fighting with everyone. So, with that in mind, I don't know how this happened, but somehow Rapunzel, when she talked to the king, and said, "Okay, if you can, okay, okay, let me backtrack here. Okay, if you can, okay, let me backtrack here. Remember when I said that the potion worked? Well, it did work, but it only worked on their personality. Remember when I said that the potion worked for about a minute? Well, it did work. It worked on Eugene and Cassandra and Rapunzel, and then when she got her attitude back, and Eugene and Cassandra was still the same, and Eugene and Cassandra were normal again. It turned out they got arrested, but they understood that sometimes Rapunzel can be a little bit too peppy, and sometimes Cassandra can be a little bit too assertive, and sometimes Eugene can be a little self-absorbed. But Rapunzel always told them it's the different personalities that make that make me love you guys even more. Cause even though we get on each other's nerves, you guys are my best friends, and I wouldn't trade you for the world. So when they break out of prison, cause Eugene picked the lock, and I don't know why a guard wasn't around. Why wasn't a guard around when he picked the lock? I'm just saying. So when they go back to the party. Well, not the party. The state dinner to piece the two kingdoms along dinner. So, when they go back to the dinner, Rapunzel talks to her dad and says, "Okay, if you want to destroy something, destroy me. Destroy your soft-hearing, happy, peppy daughter." And then for some reason, when she said that, it not only breaks the king's illusion of his mood, but it breaks everybody else's mood, except for the moms. and at the end, the other king goes home, and he apologizes for being so rude before, and they make a treaty between their two kingdoms, just like the king wanted, and everyone is back to normal. And then, at the very, very end, Rapunzel throws the potion into the river, and then it floats away to Old Corona. And then Varian says, "Oh, what do we have here?" And then that's pretty much how the episode ends. Bye. See you guys next time for my next video.